Hey everyone, welcome back to another Everyday EV video. We are doing a winter range test in our Mini Cooper Electric.
Yeah, so today is actually the perfect day for it. It's 28 degrees. It's not in the negatives, but it's kind of like the typical Cleveland weather that we get here. We do have winter tires on our Mini Cooper SE, and it is snowing. So we're charging up at an EV Go station right now to 100%, and then we're going to go on the highway, stay around 60 to 65, and see how far we can go. But we're also going to check out a new charger.
Yes, we're super excited to check out this new charging station, and we're excited to provide this content to you guys because this is new for us too with our Mini Cooper since we just got in the fall. So we're excited to test the range. You know, the Mini Cooper Electric does have a heat pump, so that does make the vehicle a little bit more energy efficient in terms of pushing hot air in, cold air out. So we'll see what happens. So we'll check in a second.
Okay, so now we have fully charged our Mini Cooper to 100%. We did arrive at 80%, and if you're curious what that 80% to 100% charge took, it took about 54 minutes, and it cost us $5.50 for an EV Go station at a 150. Now, we are at 99%. We do show 93 miles of range right here, and you see it's 28 degrees, so it is pretty cold. I am going to reset the trip in miles to the kilowatt, so that way we get an accurate depiction of what it's like to drive on the highway. Now, our highway loop, we're going to try to stay between 60 and 65 for this. It is about a 60 to 65 mile loop we're going to try out, and we're going to see, there's lots of chargers along the way, just in case we need them. We're going to see how efficient this Mini Cooper is on the highway. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so before we hit the highway here, what's really nice about this EV Go station is we are literally right on the highway where we need to get to. For this test, we're going to stay in mid or comfort mode for the drive mode. I'm going to try not to go into green. We probably won't need green at all. I'm not going to go into sport because it is snowing outside. And we have climate control set to a comfortable position because we've had it on since we had the car plugged in.
Yes, and Tyler has his heated seats on and I do not. So we're going to be using as little electricity for comfort and more towards the powertrain. So one piece of advice when you are driving your EV essentially as efficiently as possible, it's better to slowly accelerate versus punching it. Yes, it's a lot of fun to punch it, especially EVs offering all that low torque. But in order to get the most efficient type of driving, you want to make sure that you're accelerating very smoothly. So we just got up to speed. We're currently on a 60 mile per hour stretch of the highway. As Tyler mentioned, this is going to be a mix of 60 miles per hour to 70 miles per hour. We're going to kind of be right in the middle, right at 65. That's the speed we're going to stick to.
Now we are going to set cruise control. Unfortunately, our car does not have adaptive cruise control. I kind of wish it did, but that's one of the options we just had to forego whenever our car was being built. But I'm just going to keep an eye on traffic in front of us. There's not too much on the highway today,
Nope.
thankfully. Thankfully, this is a short-range vehicle, so it doesn't take up much time
to charge?
to do this. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
to like run like the range test. Because I feel like the Model 3 we don't have all the time in the world to do like our Model 3 for that.
No. Yeah, I mean, we definitely want to do more range tests, but it all depends on when we have the time to do that.
Right. Thankfully, because this Mini Cooper, the battery pack is only 32.6 kilowatt hours total, about 28 about usable. So it's really easy for us to do a range test because it only takes like an hour or two, and then you're kind of already through the battery pack. So. Yep.
Well, if you guys would like to see us do range tests, let us know. You know, we'll absolutely do our best. But as we mentioned, it's just due to time restrictions as to why we've never done this before.
Another reason why we wanted to do this is I haven't seen a whole lot of range tests in the wintertime. With winter temperatures, we also have winter tires, like I mentioned too, so we don't have the summers that come on this car standard, and that can also impact efficiency, so we want to test it out to see what it's actually like.
So I know the whole point of this video is to show our Mini Cooper Electric's range here in winter time, you know, with it being below 30 degrees. However, a lot of people have questions regarding EV efficiency in the winter time, how cold weather impacts it, and there's a lot of misconceptions, and the whole point of this video and future winter aspect or winter focused videos is to prove those misconceptions wrong and show that electric vehicles are just as capable in the winter time. Now, charging stations might be a little bit of a different story, but the vehicles themselves can do great in colder temperatures.
So a little bit of an update, we're at 75% stated charge. We've driven about 19.5 miles, and we've gone down from 93 miles when we started to about 71. So it's pretty accurate. We are averaging 3.2 miles to the kilowatt, which isn't bad, and we're still at 65, so.
Yes, and 65 is kind of that sweet spot in terms of efficiency. You know, regardless of the vehicle, the faster you go, the less efficient it's going to be. So we found that really sweet spot of efficiency for our Mini Cooper. And it's pretty impressive, especially with this riding on winter tires. And it's around 30 degrees. It kind of, kind of changes over time as we drive, but the efficiency of this vehicle is very impressive. It's a good thing we're doing this test because it really proves to us, specifically me, just how capable these vehicles can be. When we're getting more experience with newer vehicles, this really does solidify just how capable these cars are.
And we do have lots of little road trips, I should say, planned for the Mini Cooper over the summer. Biggest one is going to Mini on the Mac in Mackinac in Michigan. That's going to be quite a trip because that's going to be a little close to 500 miles one way to go up there. So, of course, it's not going to be 31 degrees like it is today. It's actually going to be a lot warmer when we take that trip.
Yes, so that trip will be a lot easier. So definitely stay tuned for that. That video should come out much later on this year. But we're super excited to try out the charging infrastructure and get a chance to try driving our Mini Cooper around 70, 75 miles per hour to test the efficiency there.
So we stopped here to check out a relatively new ChargePoint charging station at the Continental Tire, one of their office locations here in Akron. We're at 70% with about 63 miles of range. It's actually been pretty efficient, so we might do an extra long loop on the way home just to try and eat through some of that range.
Yes. My expectations have been blown away. I definitely was expecting the range to be a little bit less in this colder temperature. But the thing is that if it was extra cold, like maybe below 10 degrees, that's probably where we would see a lot of the, efficiency zapped, for a lack of better terms. But yeah, let's check out this charging station and we'll loop back and check back in with you guys. So now that we checked out that ChargePoint station, which is really cool to see more here in Northeast Ohio, we are going to do another loop. This time the loop is about 36 miles, and we're leaving the ChargePoint station with about 63 miles.
Now we've circled back to the highway after visiting that charger really quickly, and we're going to do a little bit longer of a loop because right now we're at 65% and it shows about 60 miles of range. I think we're going to do maybe about a 40-mile loop. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We're going to try to get that range really low and get a good accurate reading of what the range are like, or the range is like in the Mini Cooper electric and cold temperatures. We just hit 50% and we wanted to check in with you guys.
Yeah, so we have about 47 miles of range so far, and let's see, we're at 3.3 miles to the kilowatt, which is still pretty good for highway driving. And let's see, we've covered 44.3 so far.
So all in all, it's actually pretty accurate because we left the charging station at a little bit above 90 miles and we've traveled almost 50 miles. So it's on par with what the car is giving us in terms of an estimate.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. and we have about 18 miles left of this last loop. So we'll see what we are at when we get back to the charging station.
So another check-in, kind of forgot what time it was, we were just talking. We're at 18% and we have about 16 miles. So came all the way up north. We're gonna turn back around and go back to the EA station, and then we'll see what our final readout is. We're not gonna go all the way down to 0. I don't feel like doing that today. We're gonna get as close as possible, probably within at least 2 or 3 miles we'll probably get at the charger. I just got a notification that we have 16 miles of range. The Mini will let you know when you get to a certain state of charge when it is kind of low. So that's kind of nice that it does that.
Yes. And on that note, a lot of EVs will give you heads up as you start getting lower into the battery pack in terms of your state of charge, which is really nice. It gives you a good chance to prepare and find a charging station if you need to. So we are actually starting to run relatively low on charge. We have about 7% and we're about 6 miles, and we were trying to make it to our original EVgo location, but that's actually further away than we realized. So we're gonna stop at another EVgo station and charge up. But once you get really low into the battery pack, we actually are lowering our speed so we can save some of that electricity to make sure we can get to that charging station without running out of electricity.
Because we definitely don't want to do that in the winter time, or actually any time at all.
Nope. Definitely not. So it's always good to plan according, and that's why we're grateful for more charging infrastructure in this area.
A little bit of an update here. So we're at 5% range, and what's nice is the Mini will let you know, you get a little notification that says electric range severely reduced. That definitely tells you that you probably should get off the highway and find your closest charger. Luckily, we're gonna get off the exit right here, and then it's about 1.5 miles to the charger. So I'm not gonna be doing those highway speeds anymore.
Nope. And with the city streets and regenerative braking, we should hopefully get some electricity back into the battery pack as we start slowing down. So that should hopefully give us just a few extra miles. But we dipped further down than I was expecting us to. But yeah. I mean, we kind of got into a mixture of winter weather as well, so there was definitely a little bit more resistance on the wheels, which definitely could have impacted our efficiency. But once we get to the charger and plug in, we'll give you guys an update.
All right, so final update here. We made it to the EVgo station. We actually went to the one in Mayfield compared to Orange because we weren't going to make it. But we ended here with 3% state of charge, and we have 2 miles. Now, we did 91 miles today, which is actually pretty incredible for winter weather.
Yeah.
We weren't expecting to get all the snow and sleet and having these winter tires on. So if your temperatures are around like 30 degrees like it is here in Cleveland during the winter time, you could expect about, probably 92, 93 to be safe. So
yeah.
Pretty on par with actually what it said. We were averaging about 3.4 miles to the kilowatt on the highway, which is actually pretty impressive for this little car and for winter weather.
Yes, yes. And now if we would have went above 65 miles per hour, like say if we were averaging 70, we might not have seen that range that we saw today. So that sweet spot is definitely at 65 miles per hour. But overall, this car is super impressive, even for a short range EV. So I think when it does get warmer, we should do a summer test. I think that would be good.
We'll do a summer test with the summer tires back on the vehicle in optimal conditions. Because we don't want to run the winter tires in the summertime.
Nope, definitely not. Well,
yeah. But if you guys like this, let us know what other tests you want us to do with the Mini Cooper. We're more than happy to do it because this is a short range vehicle, so it doesn't take us as long as testing things in our Tesla, for example.
Yes, and I think it's good to prove this. You know, with the Mini Cooper being a relatively unknown electric vehicle, I think people are still surprised to learn that Mini does offer an electric vehicle. It really does prove how capable this platform is that Mini has utilized. And, you know, with the next generation Mini Cooper electric, as well as the new Aceman that's going to be coming out, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of good things from Mini Cooper. So I'm pretty happy we did this. It definitely proved a lot to me as an owner.
I don't really have as much range anxiety as I thought I did. I like to get it down as far as possible, which we kind of did.
Well, it just shows how capable these EVs are. So, well, if you like this video, make sure you like and share with your friends. And as always, please consider subscribing to the Everyday EV YouTube channel. And as always, take care, stay safe, and
make every day electrifying.
And we'll catch you guys in the next video.